You clicked on this video because you want to level up. And rest assured that you came to the right place, because in this video, I'm going to be providing you with the entire framework, with the foundational understanding of how to get on self-improvement and stay on self-improvement. Now, with that being said, I need you guys to understand something. It only takes one habit to change your life. One habit, if applied consistently, will allow you to change your life. So you can take any one of the habits that I share with you in this video, and if you apply that one habit, and this is what I would recommend that you do, if you apply that one habit consistently over the course of 1 month, your life is going to change. And then the next month, you implement a new habit while still sustaining the previous habit from the previous month, and so on and so forth. Okay, you guys have to reinvent yourselves if you want to get your life together, if you want to get your shit together. You're gonna have to reinvent yourself. And that starts with the foundational self-love. If you don't love yourself, you are not going to be able to sustain your self-development journey. You won't. You won't be able to, because if you're doing it from a place of not loving yourself and setting these arbitrary goals in order to love yourself once you achieve those goals, if you're creating these contingencies for self-love, then guess what's going to happen? You're never going to love yourself. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't understand, especially men, is your self-love has to be unconditional. It can't be conditional. You are the only person on this planet that can give yourself unconditional love, because you're the only person who can truly know the authentic you. So you have to love yourself. That's why it's called self-development, self-improvement. It's not just called development or improvement. So you have to understand that as you watch the rest of this video, because you have to take all of what I say in the context of your life. In your life. So for example, if you want to be a professional Twitch streamer or a professional gamer, then gaming is a part of your self-development routine. You need to be improving in that aspect of your life, because that's a part of your purpose. Do not allow self-development to hinder your purpose. Now, with that being said, what are some of the habits that can change your life if applied consistently? You can do these habits in any order. You can implement them in any order that you want, but I would suggest that you start with one of these habits. And the one that I personally suggest that you start with is meditation. Meditation is, in my opinion and in my experience, the single most impactful self-improvement habit that there is. And the reason why is because it promotes presence and mindfulness. It promotes presence and mindfulness. In other words, you develop a certain level of self-awareness that enables you to not only get to know yourself, but figure out what you want out of life. When you meditate and you're present, the answers reveal themselves to you. This is why a lot of you can't find your purpose, is because you're not present. You're looking everywhere except within. Meditation not only enables you, but it forces you to look within. And when you look within, like I said, the answers will begin to reveal themselves. Now, when you develop this foundational self-awareness, that's when you can have that framework. You can develop your own foundation and your own framework for your individual self-development journey. That's when you can begin to follow your intuition and walk by faith as opposed to walking by sight. And that's when you can start to do extraordinary things, such as being a YouTuber or being a musician, being anything that you want to be in this life, anything that you feel resonates with your soul, because you're getting in tune with your spiritual self. Or if nothing else, if you're not a spiritually inclined person, you're getting in tune with your subconscious mind. You see, practices like meditation enable you to observe yourself. You're able to observe yourself not in a third person way, but more in a mindful way. You're able to see yourself from a neutral, objective perspective. A lot of people, they make all of their decisions subjectively. They view themselves subjectively. They're either seeing themselves as they see themselves based on the biases that they have, or they're seeing themselves based on how they assume other people see them based on the biases that they have. Whereas in reality, nobody is really looking at themselves from an objective point of view, which is why they never improve. They never improve because they don't look at themselves. How can you fix something if you don't know that it's broken? A solution can't exist without a problem, but a problem can't exist without acknowledgement of the problem. So you have to observe yourself in a mindful, present state of being. This is what self-love is all about. Self-love is not about enabling bad habits. Self-love is about acknowledging bad habits and finding the source of those bad habits such that you can not only rectify that inner sense of self, but also replace those bad habits with good habits, such as the habits that I'm sharing with you in this video. Now, with that being said, the next habit that you can and should implement to get your life together is working out, going to the gym. Now, if you want, you can combine this habit with meditation and do yoga. I personally recommend yoga for anybody who's looking to begin self-development because it's one of the only practices, if not the only practice, that implements mind, body, and soul all in one. It integrates all aspects of self into one practice. And also for all of my men out there, it's a very, very good way to meet young women, especially young, high-value women, if you will. Me personally, I tried it. I saw all old heads, okay? Everyone had gray hair. I was heated, bro. I was sick. That's besides the point. Okay, yoga or working out. Exercise is a very good way to get the ball rolling because all you really need is momentum on the self-development journey. You need self-awareness and then you need momentum. And the reason why working out is such a great way to build momentum is because the only contingency for you seeing results is you putting in the work. So you are conditioning your mind to put in a set amount of work, a calculated amount of work, in order to receive a calculated result. You really can't go wrong with working out. The only way that you can falter when it comes to fitness is by not being consistent. Consistency is everything. And that applies to any aspect of your self-development journey and any aspect of self-mastery. You have to be consistent. As far as meditation goes, I've been meditating for the better part of 11 or 12 years now. Consistently, every single day. And that adds up over time. Even if I only meditate 2 to 5 minutes a day, that's all I need because it adds up. In the same way, if you are not going to the gym at all right now, and suddenly you decide, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 1 time per week, and you do that consistently over the course of 6 months, you are going to see results. And not only that, but you're going to build so much momentum that it's only going to make sense at some point or another to go 2 times per week, and then 3 times per week, and so on and so forth, until you find the routine that you feel is sustainable for you in the context of your life. Okay, this is what you guys need to understand is that self-development is a consistency game. It's all about discipline. Discipline does not take your feelings into account. Discipline is about transcending your feelings, not suppressing your feelings, transcending and transmuting your feelings, using your feelings in order to further yourself on your purpose, acknowledging your feelings, accepting your feelings, and then utilizing them to your benefit as fuel. And working out is a great way to do that. Working out is one of the best stress relievers that there is. If you're somebody who struggles with deeply rooted anger, that's a great way to release some of that anger in the short term and the long term. And like I said, you will receive the results that are proportional to the amount of work that you put in. You see, you could start a YouTube channel, you can become a gamer, you can do whatever you want, but you may not necessarily see the results immediately in the same way that you will from working out. When you work out, when you go to the gym consistently, you will see consistent results as long as you continue to put the work in and as long as you don't have some type of medical condition. Now, the next self-development habit that, if implemented consistently, will change your life is reading books. Reading books. Now, look, I know a lot of you guys, you're too lazy to read. You think that you don't like to read. You're dyslexic, so on and so forth. Look. There are so many different ways that you can read books nowadays without actually reading them. For example, you have audiobooks. Okay, I personally have a link to Audible, a 30-day free trial in the description if you want to check that out. But for those of you who like to actually read the books like I do personally, you can always find books that actually suit your interests. You see, a lot of people, they think that they don't like reading. The problem is that they're just reading books that aren't for them. Some people, for example, like romance novels. Some people like fantasy novels. Some people like science fiction. Me personally, I gravitate towards spiritually inclined books because I'm more of a spiritual person. I like books about the law of attraction, books about manifestation, books about the law of assumption. Those are the types of books that I enjoy reading in my free time. But that might not be what you enjoy reading. You should focus on reading the books that you enjoy reading because if you're forcing yourself to read, you are no longer developing yourself. You are developing yourself based on the framework that I've given you or that someone else has given you. And what you have to understand is that you cannot take all of our advice, and when I say our advice, I'm talking about any YouTuber that gives you advice. You can't take our advice without having that contextual understanding of your personal life. This is why it's so important to love yourself and to have that mindfulness and that general understanding, that neutral understanding of who you are. Is because once you eliminate the biases and you allow yourself to be who you are, all of the other things will come naturally. For example, with working out, you might find that you don't like to lift weights, and that's okay. Maybe you like to play basketball. It's much better for you to play basketball than to just sit on the couch all day and be unhealthy. And in the same way, when it comes to reading books, it's much better for you to read nothing but fiction books than to not read books at all. Because when you read books, you are conditioning your mind to think. You are conditioning your mind to think, but not just think with a certain level of intention and creativity. Books force you to visualize things, and visualization is a very, very important aspect of manifestation. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So building the creative imagination is one of the most valuable skills that you can possibly develop. That's why visionaries are so prosperous in this life, is because the ability to see things before they happen, the ability to walk by faith and not by sight, is what enables people to do things like what I'm doing, such as making this video and being able to pay my rent with this video. Maybe not this exact video, but with an accumulation of videos like this one. Or me being able to publish 2 books soon in 1 year.